This week, a merger that says a lot about where accounting tech is actually really heading. So, Dataswitcher and Movemybooks are joining forces to create what they're calling a global AI-enabled leader in accounting data migration. Now, between them, they've already handled more than a million migrations, quietly powering switches behind the scenes while vendors fight it out on features and pricing. Now, this deal isn't about headlines, it's more about friction, or rather removing it. And as platforms consolidate and accountants are forced to move clients more often, whether that's cloud to cloud, desktop to cloud, one ecosystem to another, migration has become a one-off pain to core infrastructure. The easier it is to move, the less power the incumbent softwares have. But what's interesting is the timing. Dataswitcher and Movemybooks are betting that AI-driven migration comes between the control layer underneath the whole ecosystem. It's been the ugliest part of business to date, and maybe finally a good use case for AI.
That's Result, isn't it? Is that the Result team as well behind it, John?
I'm not
remember?
actually sure, to be fair, because I know that Dataswitcher are out in the Netherlands, so that's so it's interesting, I guess, that again, what we're starting to see a little bit in the UK market is European tech businesses investing in the UK market and taking stuff over. It's a bit of a switch away from maybe the PE-backed acquisitions that we've seen in the past. I guess the interesting thing of them being based in Europe is they've got access to a whole bunch of additional products that maybe aren't so big here in the UK. So this is an expansion of their portfolio, if you like, because they're very big into things like Oracle, Exact, Twinfield, some of those products that probably like sit on the periphery of the accounting tech space here in the UK market generally. But I think it's a fascinating play, really, because I'm not going to lie, but like you moved my books as a product that has been around for a long old time, and I was quite interested in sort of understanding their business quite a long time ago and figuring out whether or not there could be a deep partnership between an accounting firm from a sort of digital transformation point of view and what they were doing, because they had sort of preferential deals with the likes of both Xero and QuickBooks at one point in terms of encouraging people off desktop software. And so we saw that as an opportunity. Surprisingly enough, it didn't go anywhere, but here we are. I mean, I think this is a good deal for the Move My Books team. They spun out of an accounting practice with some technology capabilities a long time ago. And so this is a good result for them because they must have been going for at least 10 years, if not longer.
Yeah, it is connected to Result, or at least there is some interlinking, because Aston Byfield is the CEO of Movemybooks, Dataswitcher, and also the CRO of Result at the same time. So I think there's some link up there. But you're right. I think that this is, well, the thing that I like about it, and the question I have for both of you, is whether it's going to make it a lot easier for companies who are now in this era of AI and really choosing between and evaluating technologies, whether it's going to empower them to be able to take more ownership of their data and their books, and maybe even take that step that allows them to better utilize some of the other AI technologies and build for themselves a front end, so they don't have to have a reliance upon any GL in particular.
I think with a lot of accounting firms, with the majority being in the small to medium size, right, they're already overwhelmed with so much tech. I don't know how much this is going to affect those so much. I think it will help those that are helping them become more digital and kind of look at their systems and become more efficient. I think that will be super useful. But in terms of creating their own GLs, I don't think we're there right now. I think that is something that will come in the future, and they're going to need time to integrate and generate those efficiencies, right, to make this a lot simpler for accounting firms to be able to get into that space. But I think we've still got quite a lot of time to get there, but we're heading in the right direction.
I'd agree. And I think accounting firms creating their own GL is like it's a little bit like why would you try and reinvent the car or the office or the desk or the computer? It's already there, and there are elements of sort of newer technology coming in. And I actually think with this news, the AI lens that's been given to it is maybe a little bit of a distraction, because fundamentally for most accounting firms, when they're dealing with clients that want to switch software, Actually, it's real fundamental stuff. It's just a matter of handling the data effectively and getting it out of one system that's generally fairly locked down or difficult to get access to from a data perspective, and then moving it into something new, typically in the cloud. So the fact that users of Move My Books, now part of Dataswitcher, have a broader catalog of products that they can move in and out of, I think that's for the benefit of everyone. And this is something that has been sort of in the probably in the sort of consulting space, if you like, from a transformation point of view, where your accountants like Ariana and myself have had to go to a specialist to be able to handle that data
I think so. What I would say, it's a little bit worrying for
Mhm.
softwares, right? Because I think up until now, a lot of them have made it quite difficult to switch over from software to software, and they're quite confident in that once a client's in, it's going to be very difficult for them to move, especially with how difficult it is generally to set up a software from scratch. Now that's becoming easier. So they're going to have to start thinking of something else to do to keep those clients in, because now they can or will be able to switch so much easier than before. So it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with.
And this is how it should be, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it should be easy to, in the same way that if I want to go and buy a new car, it's really easy for me to switch from a BMW to an Audi or whatever brand your choice. That should be how it is. There should be no reason why you're locked into a product for a long term.